your chair, you're also welcome to do that, as you wish.
Excellent. Mr. Director General, Your Excellencies, it's a great honor to receive this prize and this diploma because it really relates to daily lives of our citizens. It's not just another thing. It really makes difference for people. What generates hunger? I think it's a combination of corrupt bureaucracy, mismanagement, crime, poor economic parameters. And so this is why I'm particularly proud that our achievement that was underlined by FAO, it's a result of the long work we've done in those fields. In 1996, here in Rome, the World Food Summit has set very ambitious and very concrete objectives for the fight against undernourishment in every signatory nation. And it was followed by MDG goals of fighting poverty and hunger. And today I'm proud that we have exceeded the World Food Summit objectives, that we have managed to go further than what the ambition was set for my country and my people. First, we had to, there are a number of factors that generate hunger, as we said. First, this is crime. We had to eliminate crime, and Georgia has become the safest country in Europe. We had decrease in crime that was 80%, 80 to 85%. Then what generates crime is corruption. We became the least corrupt country in the European continent from being one of the most corrupt and one of the least corrupt in the world for the period of time. We had to do economic reforms. Georgia has become the world's #1 reformer for 6 years consecutive. That's the reforms after the Rose Revolution we undertook since 2004-2005. World's #1 reformer, and in terms of ease of doing business, we went from 139 in the world to number 9. First time ever a developing country has entered top 10 of the World Bank list of doing business and index of doing business, ease of doing business. So we had to go through all this, and then into the economic parameters. Wealth that generated. The GDP of Georgia for the period of last 8 years has quadrupled in nominal terms. We had double-digit growth for most of the years of my previous government, despite the world economic crisis and despite the invasion by Russian Federation. And we had the poverty, but the same thing is not only just GDP growth, but how it was redistributed. The poverty in Georgia was almost 50% 8 years ago. Every second Georgia was living under the poverty line, and now it's less than 20%. Child mortality has decreased 3 times. The mother mortality has decreased 3 times in that period, while fertility has almost doubled. And so these are the concrete credentials we've got for these years. Of course, then there are many other issues that are out there. Well, of course, we had to bring in new equipment. 20% of our territory remains occupied by Russian Federation, and even thousands of families of access to water and access to their own land. We've seen new barbed fire in my country, basically leaving livelihoods of the people behind them, and sometimes even they're leaving their houses behind them, again, several years after initial occupation in 2008. And of course, these are the things that cannot happen in 21st century. The whole thing is absurd when we are talking about the whole will of international community to improve situation, livelihoods for the people. Because at the end of the day, not the politics and not the big power politics, but the people themselves are the solution. This is the lesson I take from 9 years as president and 20 years of active politics. We need to trust the people to allow them to develop their own plans, their own lives. We are there to formulate general objectives, but correct to obvious illegalities through specific government programs, but most of all to make sure people are free and empowered. So I'm tremendously honored to be among this group of very distinguished, very dominant, very motivated countries to improve livelihoods of their people. And in the end, that's what we should do, like these farmers from Ghana. We should empower them, though they are the real movers behind the history. We are just there to facilitate it. Thank you very much.